Okay, it's Tuesday, January 11th. Just a quick midday update on the TQQQs. First, looking at the daily chart, we know we had the big reversal day yesterday. We started lower, we closed higher. It's a hammer candlestick bar. It's also a strat signal when you get a 2 down, 2 up, which is breaking the high of yesterday, which you can see we've done. And then you target the magnitude of this first daily bar here. If that breaks, then this bar. If that breaks, then this bar, and so on. Again, the 2 down, 2 up buy was even better because we had broadened to the downside 3 times. So you could see the megaphone in play there. So this is why everything was a good buy. Now the question is, what happened in the morning? We go to the 15-minute chart. It was a little choppy, but that's actually okay as long as you're staying above. To me, go back here, the midpoint of this bar, somewhere above there, then you're looking to break higher at some point. So clearly the opening stayed above the midpoint of all this action yesterday, but it was choppy and we started down. And I actually saw coming into the session, I was watching overnight price action. I was actually hoping for it to come down like this because I don't want to see a big gap up. Then it's tough to buy that on the daily chart. If you're going to buy a big gap up here, you're already past the signal and it can pull back into the gap, and it's just a tricky scenario. Typically with a gap up, you want to wait for some pullback and then buy later in the day. But anyway, we started lower, which is actually a positive thing. So in terms of just the pure strat, once I saw the overnight highs over here, I knew that was my first target of the day. And obviously we've gone higher because we're extending overall, on the daily chart. But this was once I see that overnight high and when we're opening up lower, at least I know that's a target for the follow through from yesterday. So what happened was you come down in the first bar red, you get the inside bar here. So that's a 2 down, 1, 2 up buy, 2, 1, 2. That's one of the strat signals. So there was a buy here. It took you to the close of yesterday. You would have liked it to go all the way up, but in this case it didn't. Then you get a pause. So you get a 2, 1, 2 to the downside. So there's your exit, so to speak. Now, if you really just wanted to hang in there saying, okay, we got the lower opening, the buy signal here, I'm going to call this possibly the low of the day, I guess, and knowing that you're probably following through from yesterday, you could have hung in there through this pullback. It's just a matter of how you want to deal with things in trade management. That that's a whole nother topic. But for now, let's just go with the strat signal. So once it paused up there and you didn't know for sure if you were going to go up, you could have exit here and waited for another signal. And the next, so we go down. You didn't know we might have gone all the way down all day long. But then you get another inside bar, so you get another actually 2 down, 1, 2 up, 2, 1, 2 back to the upside. And this was the one that then followed through past the opening, bars high. Well, really, we already passed that, but essentially we came up through the intraday high, and then we started up to the first target, the overnight highs, and now we followed through higher. And if you look at the daily chart, it's just a green bar heading, and that's the whole thing. You kind of have this big picture target in mind anyway, and you can see if I go to the 15-minute chart up there at the dotted yellow line, that's kind of where we're heading. So it's actually a classic strat trade where you get in here at the break of yesterday's high, you reach magnitude, which is the first target, then you can decide if you want to hang in there for a few more days or not. That's another topic. But in terms of the way the proxy action developed early in the session, there were a couple of lower time frame strat signals to kind of get that follow through from yesterday and then start towards the prior days, highs up there. So anyway, that's the mid-morning update on the TQQQs, how it all developed, how some of the time frames work together. And obviously, things are looking very strong right now. And the main thing now is, since you're pretty much going to probably reach this magnitude, you want to see if we then go to this one immediately today, and then, so on. And then if I look at the week, I want to see if this becomes ultimately, this is only day 2 on the week. Maybe we go up and we get a, nice green bar by Friday, and then we get a 2 up buy in the week, which will actually signal we're actually heading all the way back up. So, still just 2 days into it, but this was turnaround Tuesday in terms of the daily chart, starting that weekly, the 5 days here in the week, and we'll just have to see what happens. But again, 15-minute chart, a little choppy, but still pretty clear in terms of what to expect and what developed.